Hello kids, so this is the third video lecture of chapter number 3, Animal Kingdom. So here your teacher Raminder Kaur, and we have studied 4 phylums in the previous lecture such as Porifera, Coelenterata, then Platyhelminthes and even Cnidaria. Now we are going to start with our 5th phylum called as Aschelminthes. As looking upon the picture, it is much clear that they are roundworms. Yes, so they have circular cross section, and second point is that they are free living. Free living means they are not attached to any body. They can be aquatic, they can be terrestrial, or they can be parasitic. Now they can be found in the plant body or in the animal body. So they are mostly infectious in nature. Third point, organ system level of organization. Symmetry is bilateral. They have 3 layers of cells called as triploblastic, and this is the only phylum which consists of false body cavity. So we call them as pseudocoelomate. Alimentary canal is complete, means from this phylum we are talking about that food pipe now, with a well developed muscular pharynx. You know pharynx? So pharynx is the part to which mouth and the esophagus is attached. Fifth point, like in the previous phylum we have talked about flame cells are helping in excretion, but here an excretory tube is present which helps in removal of body waste. Then talking about reproduction, sexes are now separated. There we call it as male Aschelminthes. So these diagrams 4.10, it is a diagram of Ascaris. So one is male Ascaris and second is female Ascaris. So now the sex organs are not present in one individual, but they are now distinct in nature. Females are longer than males. Last point, fertilization takes place internally, and now development can take place either direct or indirect. So you can easily learn one example, that is Ascaris. Now let's talk about the 6th phylum called as Annelida. You must have seen earthworms around your surroundings whenever rain comes, or leeches you must have seen. So leech are those organisms that suck the blood from human body or any other organism where it is attached. And the very peculiar feature that looks from the diagram is that they have segmented body. So let's start. They may be aquatic, terrestrial, free living, or parasitic. So here can we call them as endoparasitic or exoparasitic? Yes, exoparasitic or ectoparasitic, that they are present on the surface of the host body. Which kind of level of organization they have? Organ system. So students, from the previous phylum we have talked about that level of organizations will now be organ system, okay, and the symmetry will remain bilateral only. They are triploblastic and segmentation is there, and the process we have already studied, this is called as metamerism, and body cavity is true, so we call them as coelomate, and segments are there, right? So next point, 4th one is, how do they locomote? They can easily move from one place to another. Like they seems like they are crawling, right? So you must have seen earthworm that first of all it slides its first part of the body and then back part. So which muscles are helping in this movement? So they are special muscles called as longitudinal and circular. There is one more example of Nereis. So A part is of Nereis diagram, right? So in case of Nereis, right, aquatic annelids, they have some lateral appendages. So if I zoom, you can see on the sides, they have some structures on the sides which are helping them in locomotion, which are absent in earthworm or the leeches, right? So these appendages are called as parapodia, and they can also help in swimming in water. Next point, a closed circulatory system is present. So this is very important point. Circulatory system is closed means blood vessels can be found in them. Next point, that is now special organ is present that can help in concentration of iron and water as well as excretion. It is called as nephridia. So neural system means now nervous system has also started working because evolution is going on. A complex organisms are being formed and they have ganglia. Ganglia are like those parts to which nerves are connected, right? And in case of nereis, it is dioecious, but earthworms and leeches, they are monoecious in nature. And reproduction is sexual only. There is no asexual reproduction. And examples you can learn. So here I have shown earthworm body parts. So you can see how the mouth is present, then prostomium is small pore that is present, segments are there in the body, and posterior part has anus. That's why we can say digestive system is complete. Now coming to next phylum, that is called as Arthropoda, right? In case of Arthropoda, each and every insect will come that you may have seen or still not seen. Arthropoda is the largest phylum. So because the quantity of insects is largest, 1/2 of them are named only yet. Second point, the system of organization is organ system. Symmetry is bilateral, triploblastic, segmented, and they have true body cavity. Here I want to tell you students, some students commit a mistake that whenever the characteristic features are being asked of any phylum, they just keep on writing only about symmetry, only about organization and only about body cavity, and they forget to write the important peculiar features. You can score marks only when you will write the important features present in the phylum. Otherwise, your scores will get missed if you keep on writing only the simple points which are similar in each and every phylum of animal kingdom. So what is the important point for Arthropoda? Whenever you see like a cockroach, so you like to hit him, and at that moment maybe you can skip because the outermost layer that is made up of chitin, and skeleton in case of arthropods it is present outside, so it is very slippery in nature. So that is a chitin material, right? And body is divided into 3 parts. On the top you can see head, like look upon the butterfly. So head is there, right, where eyes are there, antennas are there, then the thorax portion. So if I zoom it, you can see the butterfly internal, these are the wings which are present, and in the middle, that's cylindrical structure. So eyes are present there, antennas are present, that is called as head. Then a neck-like structure is present, that is called as thorax. And the last elongated portion that is divided into segments, that is called as abdomen. So this is the very important feature. Then why they are called as arthropod? Pod means legs. Arthro means jointed. So they have jointed appendages. Appendages means like if I ask how many appendages do you have? So we have 4 appendages, 2 arms, 2 legs. Okay. Respiration takes place by, now you can see how much evolution has happened. They have special organs for respiration. They can be gills, they can be book gills. What is the difference between gills and book gills? Book gills means when the piles of gills are present. Then book lungs or tracheal system could be there. In lower classes you must have learnt about tracheal system in insects, maybe in class 6th or 7th, that there are small pores present on the body of the insect which we call as spiracles, through which oxygen comes and then it is attached to the tracheal system, and tracheal system further transport that oxygen to the body parts. Now body cells have carbon dioxide that is now replaced and given back to tracheal system, from the tracheal system to the spiracles and ultimately outside of the body. Coming to the next 6th point, that circulatory system is of open type. So open type means blood vessels are not present. Then there are special sensory organs like antennas, eyes, statocyst, which are the balancing organ, which helps in balancing. Like we have ears for balancing. Similarly, these have a special cells or special organs called as statocyst. Next, they have special organs for excretion called as Malpighian tubules, and they mostly are dioecious, like male and female are separate, and fertilization is internal. They lay eggs. So oviparous, kindly underline, they lay eggs. Development can be direct or indirect. Now here you may have hundreds of examples of insects. Any two you can write. Okay. So now coming to phylum Mollusca. So Mollusca, Pila or octopus, must have seen in the Discovery Channel also. This is the second largest animal phylum after Arthropoda. So they can be terrestrial or they can be aquatic. Organ system level of organization, symmetry is bilateral, triploblastic, coelomate. So all these points are very similar to every phylum almost. So important features are shell is calcareous. Calcareous means it is made up of calcium, and body is not segmented. We have talked about phylum Annelida and Arthropoda, where the body was divided into segments and it has distinct head. So body is divided into three parts: head, muscular foot and visceral hump. A soft and spongy layer of skin, it forms a covering that is mantle over a visceral hump, that is a very lower part. There is one space between them, between the hump and the mantle, that is called as mantle cavity, right? So in which gills are present. So gills are the respiratory organs which look like feathers. So they are playing both functions, respiratory also, and even to exclude out the waste from the body. And the interior portion that we call as a head, it has special tentacles on it. So they are acting as a sensation organs. Mouth contains a file-like rasping organ which is helping in feeding. So that special organ is called as radula. Any two examples you can remember, so such as pila and the other one octopus. And they are usually dioecious, means both the sexes are separate now. And direct development is there. It means there is larval stage which is formed, and oviparous means they lay eggs. So thank you students. So let's meet in the next video lecture where I will describe the rest of the phylums. Thank you.